Live only on DAZN. He silenced Britain's best. Usyk, the Brit breaker, but now the dynamite is ready to explode. One night, one shot at undisputed. Usyk versus Dubois 2. July 19th. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.
Hello and welcome to Froch on Fighting with me, Carl the Cobra Froch, former unified super middleweight world boxing champion and International Boxing Hall of Famer. I also once performed in front of 80,000 fans at Wembley Stadium. I don't talk about it much either. This episode is brought to you by Cobra Casino. So we've got an absolute monster fight this weekend, the rematch between Usyk and Daniel Dubois. Oleksandr Usyk, the undisputed heavyweight champion. We've seen what he's done, we've seen what he can do, we've seen what he's capable of. Just an absolute, one of the best in the business to do it. Daniel Dubois takes him on in a rematch. Now, the reason this fight could be interesting, or is interesting, is because Dubois has improved so much since the first fight. The first fight, if you remember, they boxed. I think it was a 9-round fight. 2 years ago, almost to the day, Usyk Dubois was in the ring exchanging leather. And Dubois actually landed a low blow. A lot of people argue it wasn't a low blow, but it was on the cup protector. It wasn't in the crown jewels. We've had this discussion before. It wasn't straight in the knackers, to be blunt, but it was on the box protector. And if you're getting hit around that area, it's a low blow. So he drops Usyk. Usyk takes his 4.5, 5 minutes. The referee told him, listen, low blow. You're okay. Have a little rest. So he did that. I think if the ref would have started counting, which I've said before, Usyk would have got up and carried on with the fight because that's the kind of man he is. He's not going to stay down and quit. But anyway, he took his time, he got up, and the significant thing is the fact that he got the fight won. He got it won in style. He fought himself back into the fight after the low blow and ended up stopping Dubois with a jab. Dubois looked a bit tentative, a bit unsure of himself. He was a bit naive. He was quite not new to the game, but new to World Championship level fighting. And I think with that inexperience, and Usyk just all over him because Usyk was getting to him. I think he did. A lot of people say he quit. I don't want to say he quit because he got hit with a jab. It was a heavy jab. He was tiring and he went down. So he didn't beat the count, did he? So was that a quit? He stood up. He stood up on the 10th second when the ref was counting. So it looked like he kind of swallowed it. But I'm not going to say he swallowed it because he absolutely redeemed himself when he came back. He came back. He's had 3 fights since. And he's looked good. And this is why this fight's so interesting. Because Daniel Dubois is a different animal. What's he done? He stopped Jarrell Miller. Big Baby Miller. If you haven't seen the interview, I interviewed him last week in Turkey. It was a great bit of fun we had. He was sticking it on the Cobra. And the Cobra had to stay cool, bring him into the office, have a good chat with him. We'll sort that out. But anyway, Daniel Dubois fought Miller in a fight where a lot of people was thinking to themselves, you know what? I don't know if Daniel Dubois is going to get battered by this Miller. Miller sticks it on him and puts it on him mentally and physically in the ring. How's he going to cope with it? How's Daniel Dubois going to cope with the pressure? Because everyone's calling him a quitter after Usyk hit him with that jab and dropped him and finished him in that first fight. So Miller gets in, does what Miller does, puts his weight on him, leans on him, puts his shots together. And what happened? Daniel Dubois took the punches, took the licks, stayed with it, believed in himself, fought back and got Miller stopped in round 10. And a lot of people were shocked. I wasn't so shocked because I know Daniel Dubois is a good fighter. I hear stories around him in the gym. Robert McCracken's told me a few things. When he hits people, they look like they've been hit with a stun gun because he punches that hard. So it's interesting. I'm watching the fight thinking, listen, Miller's a bit of a bully, and he'll get in there and stick it on him. But Daniel Dubois is now growing in confidence. And he did the job, so fair play to him. We got Miller stopped in round 10. Then on to Hrgovic. He fought Hrgovic, and it was literally teeing off on Daniel Dubois' head. It was teeing off on each other's face, actually. But Daniel Dubois was getting hit with far too many shots, getting battered. His head was bouncing around. He was walking into right hands. And I was thinking to myself, how long can Daniel Dubois take these punches for? How many can he soak up before he starts to fade? And to be honest, he didn't fade. Hrgovic faded. Daniel Dubois stayed with it, believed in himself, remained composed, and started putting his jab together, started putting the right cross on the back of the jab, started putting combinations together, and he got Hrgovic out there in round 8. The first man to ever do that. So the Hrgovic win was a significant milestone for me by stopping him in round 8 because it showed that he's confident, showed he believes in himself, shows that he wants to be in the game. And don't forget, he was only 26 years old. What is he now, 27, 28 years old? And then from Hrgovic, he fought Anthony Joshua. And let's not forget, he was the underdog against Anthony Joshua. Nobody thought he could beat AJ. Even though he beat Miller, even though he beat Ergovic, people were saying, you know what, I'm not so sure about him beating AJ. AJ needs a good win. AJ sticks it on him, puts that 1-2 down the middle. He's probably going to hurt Dubois, maybe get him out of there, get him knocked out. But you know what happened, don't you? You saw it for yourself. AJ got fucking bullied and rendered unconscious in round 5. Did he get dropped in round 1 or round 2? I think it was round 1. We saw what happened for the next 3 or 4 rounds. And then in round 5, Daniel Dubois had Anthony Joshua breakdancing on his head. I'm not being horrible. It's what happened. He hit him with a stun gun. Hit him with that right-hander that has been talked about from the gyms. He looked like he'd been fucking tasered. He knocked AJ out. And I think that was then the growing and the building of this new star. Daniel Dubois became a bona fide champion from that fight, because when he got elevated to IBF world champion, people didn't really give it the credence because he didn't beat a champion for the belt. But when he rendered Anthony Joshua unconscious, that was the fight where people said, you know what, Dubois is probably the real deal. This is a significant win, beating AJ in style. We know I know AJ's past his best. I know he lacks confidence. A lot of people agree with this, and then you got the AJ fanboys start bitching and moaning and try and fire back. But let's be honest, AJ's seen better days. I don't think his heart's in the game anymore. So when Dubois did that to him, maybe it was the last of AJ anyway. But Dubois still got in there. He was still confident. He was the underdog, and he did the job. So fair play to him. And now on from that, he's got his rematch with Oleksandr Usyk. And this, for me, is an exciting fight because Dubois is on the crest of a wave. He's flying. He's full of confidence. He believes in himself. And Usyk, let's be honest, he's not getting any younger. Usyk's had 2 fights with Fury, 2 unbelievable fights, fantastic entertainment, 2 great wins. And he won fair and square as well. But contrary to what Tyson Fury believes, he's going on there bitching and moaning about he wants a fair crack at the whip, which I've mentioned before. I mean, he got beat fair and square. He probably won 5, maybe 6 rounds of the 24 rounds that he shared with Usyk. But Usyk dominated. Usyk outboxed, moved, used his skills, his hand speed, slipping and sliding, in and out, light footwork. And for me, he nearly got Tyson Fury stopped in the first fight. And then obviously in the rematch, he dominated again. So to beat Tyson Fury twice, you've got to say, listen, this is one of the best fighters to ever do it. Like, he's up there, pound for pound, one of the best of all time. And I know we've got some big fighters in the 80s and the 90s, some top heavyweights. You haven't got many that come up from cruiserweight to heavyweight. We've had Evander Holyfield, we've had David Haye, now we've got Oleksandr Usyk. But Usyk is special. Look at his amateur career. Look at his pro career at cruiserweight. Look at what he's done as a heavyweight. This is a special talent. I'm not going to spoil it and go into my prediction just yet, but that's just a summary of what's happened with these 2 fighters on the build-up to this rematch on Saturday night, which, by the way, is only available on DAZN. So, who's going to win this fight? That's the question you all want answering. I'm going to give you my opinion. For what it's worth, that's why you tune into Froch on Fighting, the best channel in the business. Right, Oleksandr Usyk is El Supremo. Amateur career, Olympic champion, virtually unbeaten in over 300-odd fights. I mean, it's ridiculous, his amateur career. Turned professional, undisputed cruiserweight king. Simple as that, king. It's the only word you can use to describe and define this guy. He's a king of the cruiserweight division. Then he steps up to heavyweight, and he reigns havoc. He's beat AJ twice. He's beat Tyson Fury twice. He's already beaten Dubois. All right, he climbed off the floor with a low blow, and people are like, right, okay. Was he hurt? Was he faking it? Should he have... All that's bullshit for me. That's water under the bridge, or bridge under the water, as Big Baby Miller said when he was panicking when he talking to the Cobra, Big Baby Miller, last week. But anyway, on to Usyk Dubois. This fight for me, Usyk just does what Usyk does: fast hands, good head movement, sharp on his feet, light work, just not wasting anything, just keeping it nice and composed. Remember when Tony Bellew stuck it on him? And fair play to Bellew. Bellew stuck it on him and he was being a bit Nassim-esque, looking at big shots, looking at big bombs. Just kept composed and he kept himself cool, bided his time, and then boom, El Sparko, Bellew was out cold. And that's what Usyk does. We see it against Tyson Fury recently. We've seen it against AJ twice. This guy just doesn't get caught with anything he doesn't see coming. So I just think that when Usyk's in there, Usyk just needs to do what Usyk does, which is fast hands, good head movement, light on his feet, combination punches, picking his spots, setting the odd trap, in and out on his feet, just almost mesmerising and hypnotising his opponent into submission. They can't take it. They can't cope with the pace. The only problem with that is He's 38 years old. Is he 38 or 39? He's on the wrong side of 30 anyway. And he's at the stage where sort of I was at when I thought, I can't do this anymore. My elbows are aching. My back's sore. My right knee, my ACL reconstruction's playing up a little bit. It feels a bit sore. Everything aches and pains, and the recoveries after your long runs and after your hard sparring sessions take longer to start to feel yourself again. And that's where Usyk is. He's at that stage of his career where he could all of a sudden just get old overnight. But we've not seen any signs of him aging overnight, have we? We've not seen signs of that in his last couple of fights. He still loves it. I spoke to Alex Krasik not too long ago, and he was saying, look, he loves the sport. He just loves competing. He loves the training. And that brings me on to what's going off there with Oleksandr Krasik. He's been his friend, one of his best friends in the boxing game, as far as people from the outside are concerned. And now he's not involved. He's not there. What's happened to Krasik? Does anybody know? Let me know in the comments. But is that going to affect Usyk? He's not got his wingman, one of his best mates in boxing, is no longer on the team. So could that affect him? Could that be an issue with him going in mentally? I'm not so sure it would be. I think Usyk's mentally strong enough and tough enough to know what he needs to do when he's in that ring. But that could be a factor. Why is that relationship broken down? Has it broken down? We've not seen Krasik, so it's been worth mentioning. But I just think Usyk does what he does, and it'll probably be enough because he's that good. But can he still do what he's been doing for 12 rounds at this age? He's slightly older than what he was. Obviously, we're all getting older. A day goes by, a week goes by, 2 months goes by, and before you know it, you're thinking to yourself, I'm feeling the aches and pains. I'm getting older. Daniel Dubois is coming into his peak now. He's a younger fighter, almost over 10 years younger than him. It's at least 10 years, 10, maybe 11 years. I mean, that didn't matter. Look what I did to George Groves. He was 11 years younger than me, and he got El-sparkered at Wembley Stadium, as you know. But this is a young man against an old man who could be just sliding past his best in Usyk, although we've not seen any signs of it. I think Usyk just does what Usyk does. Like I've said before, fast hands, feet, movement, head movement, combination punches, and probably gets the job done. But what can Daniel Dubois do to stop that from happening? Does he go in there and rain havoc from round one? Does he just put it on him? Height, reach, size, strength, all that extra weight, just stick it on Usyk. Now, if he goes in there and just sticks it on Usyk and really puts it on him, he's going to use a lot of energy himself. And Oleksandr Usyk's able to just navigate around the ring and sort of negate that attack by throwing fakes, making him walk into stuff, keep off in circles, don't go back in straight lines. He's a classy operator. He's a well-schooled top amateur and a top professional as well. Undisputed world cruiserweight and heavyweight champ, by the way, which we already know. But this guy's somebody who knows how to dance, literally. He'll dance around that ring. And if the more Daniel Dubois comes and puts it on him and tries to iron him out, the more Usyk will be able to just manoeuvre around in semicircles and walk him onto shots. So Dubois can't go mental early doors. He can't just stick it on him and try and render him unconscious. He needs to take his time. But I think the tactics need to be pressure. The pressure that he put on AJ, just put it on him early, hurt him in round one, and then kept it on him for round 2, 3, 4, and round 5. He let the big shots go, didn't he? The dynamite, Daniel Dubois, put the big shots together. Now, if he stays on Usyk and keeps the pressure on him, from that young 27, 28-year-old body and that big power, and he has success, don't headhunt, punch the shoulder, punch the chest, punch the body, punch him low if he has to. Just break him down and get to him and lean on him. Make it hard for Usyk from round one. Don't let him settle in. Don't let him get his feet. Don't let him find his range. Don't let him feel comfortable. Make it uncomfortable as early as possible, but behind that cute jab. And Dubois got a nice sharp jab. He looks good behind the jab. He times his backhand well as well. He manoeuvres around the ring very tidily. Not as tidily and not as crisp and efficient as Usyk, but he's got height and reach, and he's got that extra weight. So just use all them attributes, but box him on his front foot. Put Usyk under pressure, and I think that's the only way you can win. And if he catches Usyk, body or head, and hurts him, he needs to stay on him and try and get the job done, because we've seen what happened before. He dropped Usyk, all right, low blow. He took the piss and took the 5 minutes, but it's all fair in love and war, and the referee counted it as a low blow, so it is what it is. Don't want to go over old ground too much. But Daniel Dubois should have really stuck it on him straight after that. Just put the pressure on him, but he didn't, did he? He stood back, got behind the jab, and tried to box his way to victory. You cannot box your way to victory with Oleksandr Usyk. You have to stick it on him. If you're taller, longer reach, heavier, and you punch harder, you've got to use all them fucking advantages and stick it on him from the very first or second round. Get to work early. So anyway, that being said, I think that's the way Daniel Dubois can win the fight. Stick it on Usyk, hopefully catch him, hopefully lean him, tire him out, and get to him and make an old man of him. But I personally think that Oleksandr Usyk, I said it earlier and you might have said, what's he on about? He doesn't get hit with shots that he doesn't see coming. It's the shots that you don't see coming that do the damage. And Usyk is that good. He's got good reflexes. He's got fast hand-to-eye coordination, fast on his feet. When a shot comes, even if an unexpected shot comes, if a left hook follows a right hand from an awkward angle, he'll catch it last minute and he'll block the shot, or he'll move away from the shot. He never really gets hit flush, clean, with shots that he doesn't see coming because he's that good. He's a world-class top operator. Similar to Vasily Lomachenko, he doesn't get caught with much that clean. He's always slipping and sliding, seeing, watching, slipping, moving, rolling shots, riding shots. So I don't think Daniel Dubois will catch Usyk with a big, heavy knockout blow. But this will be the difference. Because he's not going to get caught with something big and heavy that's going to render him unconscious, I just think it's going to go the distance or maybe be a late stoppage for Usyk. I can see Dubois trying, maybe taking this advice, maybe getting in there with a game plan to make it hard for Usyk, but I don't think he's going to be good enough. I just don't think he's got the pedigree. I don't think he's got the skills. I don't think he's going to land a shot that Usyk's not going to see coming. So I can see it being quite a close, competitive, entertaining fight for the first 5, 6, 7 rounds. As soon as we get into round 7 or 8, you'll see Usyk start to take over, start to flick that switch, put the pressure on, put the combination punches together, and I don't think Daniel Dubois will be able to stay with him. If he does stay with him, he'll survive the 12 rounds, Dubois, and he'll lose on points. Otherwise, I think Dubois will get stopped by the fantastic Oleksandr Usyk. And I think Dubois will come again. I don't think he gets knocked out and badly hurt. Maybe he gets stopped on his feet, but this is a great fight. It's an exciting fight and a closer fight for me than the first one. I know Usyk's probably already worked him out, but Daniel Dubois has grown in confidence. He's grown as a fighter. He's grown as a world champion now. He's now a young, solid, confident man, and I think he believes in himself, and that goes a long way when you get in that ring. You saw it with AJ. So this fight's fantastic. I can't wait to see it live on DAZN, and I'm looking forward to it. I cannot wait. It's this Saturday at Wembley Stadium. Don't miss it. I just think Usyk is going to be too much for Dubois, but what do I know? Let me know what you think in the comments. So that's my thoughts on the Usyk-Dubois fight this weekend. It's going to be a good one. I think Usyk's going to be too much for him. If you've not seen my interview with Oleksandr Usyk, I did a nice, short, sweet 12 rounds with Usyk, and it's my last video here on Froch on Fight. And if you've not seen it, go and check it out. It's a good watch. We had a bit of a laugh about Wembley Stadium. You can imagine the jokes flying around. He reckons there's going to be 97,000 here for this one. I'm not so sure about that. I don't know who's counting the seats. But anyway, it's time to give a couple of other fighters, Hamza Shiraz and Katie Taylor. Hamza Shiraz for Edgar Berlanga, and what a fight that was. He got in there and he did the business. He basically dropped him 3 times in the fight, Hamza Shiraz, and the referee had seen enough and waved it off. Now that is a great win for Shiraz, a real growing win for him. It takes him into that echelon, stepping towards the world title. They're even talking about him fighting Canelo Alvarez. I mean, Canelo couldn't stop Berlanga. He had him down, but he didn't get the job done. I'm not saying Shiraz belongs there in with Canelo, but Canelo is actually getting past his best now, and he's got that fight with Crawford to deal with on September 13th, which we may be Froch on Fighting may be there. But listen, you've got to give Hamza Shiraz his credit now, and you've got to say he's going to be one of the future stars in the sport because he's backed by Turki Al Sheikh, likes him. He's got the money coming in. And he's putting on the performances, and that's the most important thing. That was a great win, so let's give him his credit. So on to Katie Taylor. She fought Amanda Serrano again, 3rd time. I actually thought that Serrano did the business in the second fight, for what it's worth. I think a lot of people agree with me. It was a close fight, and I thought Serrano did the job. I thought Taylor lost that fight. But anyway, they've had a rematch. That was at the weekend, and Katie Taylor did the business again. Outworked her. Too much work, too much pressure. It was a bit of a slower start as well. They both took the time and stood off a little bit, but that didn't help Serrano. That helped Katie Taylor because she was able to keep the engine and the fuel in the tank, if you like, and then finish strong. She's just such a fantastic athlete. She throws a lot of punches, fast hands. She doesn't stop working for every second of every round. Once it's on top, she just keeps throwing away. And she's won again for the 3rd time against Amanda Serrano, so fair play to Katie Taylor. So I'd say it's probably time for Katie Taylor to retire now. She's had a fantastic career, amateur and professional, and I think she's done enough. She's made enough Bunsen burner. She's been an unbelievable ambassador for female boxing, which is now just boxing, because these girls fight like some of the men. Some of the fights you watch, It's just back and forth, ebbs and flows, work rate, power, good punches. Maybe not so much the power. You don't get the knockouts. So I'm not going to say you get the knockouts like you do in the men's fighting. But the women's boxing, for me, is well watchable and it's enjoyable. I've enjoyed every single one of Katie Taylor's fights because they're action-packed. But I think now she can retire happily, being one of the best females in the world to ever lace up the gloves. So fair play to her. So that's about it for another episode of Froch on Fighting. Don't forget you can catch my post-fight reaction for the Usyk Dubois fight this weekend. I might be there. I'm thinking about going down to Wembley. I don't like going down there if I'm not performing. I don't really like the crowds. I get a bit claustrophobic. If I'm not in the ring, rendering someone unconscious, I'd rather sit in the comfort of my own home. But we'll see. I'll have a speak to my producer, the main guy. You know who he is. You know the guy. The money machine. But anyway, I might be there. I might not be there. But either way, there will be a post-fight reaction. So hit that notification bell so you don't miss it. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't already. The best channel in the business. And we'll see you very soon. But I'm really, really looking forward to this fight. I can't emphasize enough how excited I am for this fight. This fight could go either way. I've got Usyk as a 70-30 favourite. But it could go either way because Daniel Dubois carries that equaliser, carries that big punch, and you know he's going to be hungry for it. You know he's going to be coming for it, trying to cause the upset. So don't forget you can catch this fight on DAZN. It's nice to be back in Nottingham, actually. I've been on the road. I've been to Dubai. I've been to Saudi a couple of times. Just been to Turkey. Look at all them interviews I've been getting. You're treating the fans to the top quality interviews. I hope you've enjoyed all of them. Let me know in the comments what you think about it and if you want me on the road a little bit more. But until then, I will see you next time here on Froch on Fighting.
Usyk vs Dubois 2, Saturday, July 19th. Live only on DAZN. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.